Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to a high level best of 3 from the GSL StarCraft 2. Today we have DRG here in the top right spawning as our red Zerg player, and in the bottom left, opening up with a Reaper, it's going to be TY playing for the Guangdong Freaks. Now TY is a very special gamer because he is a gamer, an e-athlete, a cyber athlete, a cyber sportser, that is currently competing in 2 games. Earlier this year he played in the ASL, which is the StarCraft 1 main league that is being played, and I think he got 3rd in his group in the round of 24, taking out Jaedong. I mean, it's not a crazy good performance, but still a top 24 player in that game is pretty freaking impressive, especially if he's also competing at a fairly high level in StarCraft 2. He's not the player he once was, he's not a tournament winner anymore, but he is a player that can make it quite difficult for some of the current higher level players. TY is currently ranked 40 in the world on Aligulog and about rank, I think it was 20-ish in Korea, or 22, 23 in Korea, something along those lines. So not a top tier player, but definitely still very, very good. And competing at the highest level in 2 games at the same time, that is something that I can't recall happening in the past. I don't recall any player doing that ever, really. Not that I'm familiar with, at least. Usually, I mean, there's been people that switched games, but then they stopped playing in their other game. So here we have a very odd opener as well. It's going to be Reapers, and usually when you play Reapers, you follow this up with a Tech Lab Reactor type of setup on the barracks and go for a 2-on-1 setup with triple CC. TY wants to be a little bit different. He goes triple CC and then switches straight up into Mech. So we have that reactor coming down on the first factory. Second factory currently nothing being researched. It's just going to be naked Hellions. No, Tech Lab. Perhaps Blue Flame Hellion as a follow-up. Roach Warren already coming down here for DRG, who's taken almost no damage against these early Reapers. Lost 2 drones, 1 Ling, killed 1 Reaper, and has 47 workers out already against currently the 32 of his opponent. 5 roaches coming down. Now you could say this is going to be for a roach rush. I think you might actually be right. Yeah, you could be right. I mean, there's a lot of gas being mined here. There's no lair on the way, no evo chambers, more and more overlords coming in as well. But now we see the 5 drones, so perhaps just some defensive roaches, just in case something bad's about to happen. And something bad indeed is about to happen, as Blue Flame is about 20-ish, 25% done right now. And the moment we see that bad boy finish up, life could potentially be difficult here for DRG if he wouldn't have those roaches. We do see a switch into the tank for... Oh my god, look how many Marines he has. This is such an elaborate fake. This is such an elaborate fake. He really is pretending very hard here. He's pretending so hard that this is a standard 2-on-1 setup. But this is anything but a standard 2-on-1 setup, as these Hellions are now going in towards the natural. No Blue Flame quite yet. Are going to get some big shots off, though. These roaches not quite doing what they wanted to. They have really achieved nothing whatsoever. Another worker goes down. That's 7 drones in total falling so far. Blue Flame is going to fall flat on its face, though. This is just going to finish up too late. 11 workers going down. Marines are heading back home, as 6 more roaches are in production. And I almost wish that he loses his Hellions before the Blue Flame finishes, so that doesn't get revealed. I almost wish he would lose it. And he's not going to shoot anymore. I actually think that's a good call. I think that's a good call, hiding that for just a little bit longer, that this is going to be Mech indeed. Because we're going to go up to 3 factories. I do have a feeling that DRG is vaguely aware as to what is kicking off, because it's just a really weird opener. Like that many Marines into then 5 Hellions. We do have the link speed. And this Overseer hopefully is going to bring us some clarity. Maybe it's just defensively for potential starport units, but I don't think so. We're actually going to figure out what DRG thinks right now, by the way, which is really funny. We're going to figure, like, we can look straight into his mind at this point. Okay, it's going to be carapace and range. If this was a melee upgrade, I would have said, okay, he thinks this is bio. But if you're going for range upgrades, most of the time you do believe that it's mech, or you want to go for some type of 1-1 roach timing, which can also be viable against bio, of course. It's not only viable against mech, but most of the time we don't see it. Most of the time. Link speed has finished up. 5 more overlords on the way. 69 workers to 56 as the infestation pit comes down as well. Hellions now reveal their Infernal Pre-Igniter for the first time, really. Get a big fat scan out of TY. Sees that a hive hasn't started yet. I think this is what the scan was for. Either hive or some potential spire play. Lots of roaches are out, but the tank count is pretty decent. First Banshee now on the way out as well over here. Technically Swarm Host are a viability, because this is a pure ground force. Banshees are going to be coming in very late. It's rare to see Swarm Host plays, but I feel like DRG is a thinking player. He's someone that looks at this, analyzes, and is like, wait a second, you have no air units, no battle cruisers, no Banshees. This could just be Swarm Host. He has a lot of cash in the bank as well. There we go. 11 Swarm Hosts are coming down. And it's rare to see this, because majority of the time that we see Mech being played, there are going to be early Banshees out. This time it is a later Banshee transition. I think we're... Oh, he even cancelled the one. And is now going for Hyperflight Rotors while building a medevac. First Thor coming out as well. I believe that TY believes that this is going to be Spire play. So he wants the medevac plus Thor combination. We don't have any turrets quite yet though, so that is a surprise. Kind of makes me doubt my own read. We have a turret here up front, of course, which is to deal with any potential roach burrows. 4 Hellion drop heading towards the far left. He's trying to sneak that by. DRG is barely not going to spot that. That was real close though. Depot here is going to be seen as this Nidus is going to go down in Watchtower range. Or in, what's it called, Sensor Tower range. Randomly see a unit pop up. Another scan, complete lack here of Hive. TY aware of that, now is going to be very aware of what's kicking off. So it's going to see this pop off on the sensor tower. Sees a lot of units here. And here comes the first flanking Locust wave. It's not that many tanks currently sieged up, not that many Hellbats. We'll need to morph them ASAP. And here we go. There's going to be a couple of SCVs going down, as well as one tank falling instantly. Second tank getting targeted, but really not taking too much damage. And this was a fairly decent trade here. One worker has gone down in total. And now these mineral patches are being mined out. STY wants to set up to go and try and take a fort base. Doesn't have a fort CC yet. Adds in a second starport. Banshee controlling the bottom part of the map. As it feels like TY is actually in a pretty okay spot. I like his positioning. Like because of the late Banshees, he kind of tricked his opponent into the Swarm Host. And I think this is really uncomfortable at the moment for DRG. DRG needs to get some damage done with this next push in. Hellions are out of position. Tanks aren't sieged up. Now are going to try to siege up. Here comes a Locust wave. Going to land and try and fight these Hellions. We'll take out a couple. The Banshees in the sky, of course, helping out. 2 workers going down and a bunch of cars. But we have 5 factory. We have double starport soon. We're currently on 1 Banshee. Did we lose one? Yeah, okay, we lost the Banshee. I was thinking already there should be 2 at this point, but 1 has gone down at some point. A couple of big biles hitting those tanks. I actually really like the position TY is in. Look at the worker count that we're working here with for DRG. It's only 68 against 82. Once the 8 gases start going, this planetary finishes up and we get just even 1 or 2 tanks here. That would be huge. Now DRG is going to force a cancel and a fly away. Might get 4 or 5 workers, a kill on a sensor tower. Yeah, this was a big pickoff actually. Because if this base gets set up before the next Locust wave, that's going to be very frustrating. Because that's 1 less area that TY doesn't have to think so much about. Banshees in the sky, of course, pushing back these anti-ground units. There really is not sufficient anti-air here in the force in general. Oh, Bile's gonna actually hit one of his own queens, as tanks that are all sieged up will take a lot of damage on these Ravagers. Locust wave coming in. Don't think this is going to be too effective though, as 1 or 2 more tanks might fall. No, good pickup. This tank is not even gonna fall until the Bile or the Ravagers kill it. The Banshees are gonna try and chase. This was a very good fight here for DRG. The supply still... Or sorry, a very good fight here for TY. Supply still looked DRG favored, but that's just because he rebuilt 36 roaches. Now, this fort base has now been set up. It's 75 workers to 68. 3-3 on the way. Banshees are going to be moving towards the bottom side to try and take out some of these Nidus worms. I'd love to see a Banshee split off towards the top as well. We still have double Banshee production coming in. There's going to be 6 Banshees soon. And they deal a lot of damage to, well, really everything that currently exists. Thor is here as well for that splash damage. No, he has the wrong setup on the Thor. Splash damage, I think, would be much better against these Locust waves. The Thor is going to end up falling against this set of Locusts. This was once again a terrible fight here for DRG. He's going to end up losing all of his roaches practically. Actually, yeah, just loses all of his roaches. This is going to allow TY to clear a little bit of creep, B, push back all of this in general, because there's just no anti-air. There's 4 queens total on the map, and they were busy injecting. They're now going to be pulled away to the front. But there's 6 banshees. There's actually not sufficient anti-air to deal with the banshee force. These banshees don't have any upgrades, sure. I mean, they have 1 vehicle plating. They're fighting against 2 queens. So that is something we do need to keep in mind. But I believe with 6 banshees, you can actually achieve quite a bit. Still only 70 workers here for DRG, who's pretty much entering his final stage here of the game. Like, he just doesn't have the eco to continue transitioning. He's trying to, he's getting into Baneling speed right now, but he has no upgrades at all for these Banelings. Barracks is finally going to finish up. These Banshees are starting to take out a lot of the Ravagers, as the Biles don't quite connect. Queens do help out here in the back, but I feel like the Banshees can just deal damage here forever. So you have something falling here on the bottom side. Depots going down, 156 supply to 170. Banshee still alive. The actual tank count isn't so high, by the way. A lot of the supply is just in these Banshees, but I do believe that is just going to be fine. 2 more Banshees on the way. It's going to bring the total up to 8, as these tanks are all on siege. There's no Locust Wave with this, and now these Queens are going to fall, and that means the end of the anti-air, and honestly, the end of DRG, in my mind. He's trying to get Vipers, he's trying to get Hydras out, but the Banshee's fully in control here. No injects available. Terrible worker count. Lots of bank here for TY. Flies through the Biles, doesn't get hit. That was close, though. Swarm host turning around for their final wave before the Banshees are going to kill them forever, I think. As this is moving in. Should probably just micro back a little bit. It's going to lose 1 tank most likely. Doesn't want to lose a second one, though. It's going to be somewhat important not to. There's a couple of Hellions falling. It's not the end of the world. Banshees dealing a lot of damage will get repaired right now. Ship weapons level 1 on the way, as well as vehicle plating. More and more Hydras coming out. That's the disadvantage of building so many Banshees, is they're really weak against Parasitic Bomb with a little bit of Hydra support. If you have both Hydras and Parasitic Bomb to deal with Banshees, they're not so great in big numbers. Muscular Augments on the way after Grooved Spines has already been completed for the Hydra upgrades. So they're still a little bit slow, but that's going to change relatively soon. And with 1 more big scan, TY is going to clear a lot of creep. He's moving very deep onto the creep, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think this feels almost like too quick of a push. He's not even maxed out yet. There's a lot of supply still in production facilities. At the same time, he does have a very big army. He has pretty decent upgrades at 3-2. Here comes the first Parasitic Bomb. Blinding Cloud as well hits. The splits are not great, but they're good enough, as this first hatch is going to fall as well as 15 workers. And all that TY really needs at this point is not a good fight, but just a decent fight. And I think he will be capable of getting that. Pile's not quite connecting. Lots of Banshees have fallen, though. Only 4 remain. And the spread of these tanks isn't that brilliant either. This feels pretty much like an all-in push here coming out of TY as well, which shouldn't be the case. Locust Wave is going to sweep this up, as the Ravagers and the Hydras now pushing in. Is DRG actually going to turn this around again? Oh, he is, as he takes out the entire ground force. Vipers are still alive as well, which is great. That means that Abducts as well as Blinding Clouds can be used in the upcoming attack. A straight up attack now moving across the map here, as this barracks is taking a beating. Banshees continue microing. 11-9 and 11-4 and 9 kills respectively on these Banshees. There's 2 Thors out, 6 more Swarmos as well coming out. As DRG very keen on the Swarmos, he's gonna perhaps try and target down this orbital here on the bottom side. It's the orbital from the main bases. A little bit painful here, as DRG is gonna be moving in forward. Big Locust Wave coming in, will try and take something out. And it's actually gonna get this as well. Even without the Vipers, he's just running through it. Banshees on the other side of the map. I'm not sure what they were trying to do. I'm not sure if they succeeded in their goals. But TY seems to be dying over here at home. So these tanks are stacked up top together. Means that Biles are going to double hit. Final tanks now falling as well. And DRG, with honestly a pretty insane comeback after how bad it felt for such a long time, is now dancing in his opponent's third base. We get a big scan out of TY, and this is the Have I Lost Yet scan. And GG is going to be called after that scan. DRG wins game number 1, but boy, that wasn't easy. I'm honestly not unimpressed by TY. So one could say that I'm actually quite impressed. What is he doing? Wait, what? He's going for 2 ranks. Oh, or 3. 2 or 3? 2. TY is a 2 Rexer. He's building them really far though, isn't he? It's gonna be like over here? Not even. Wow. That is quite a distance. That is one hell of a trek for these Marines still needing to make. DRG is gonna be checking around with his first 2 Overlords. He's not gonna find anything. And by the time DRG finds anything here, these barracks will be long done. The bunkers will be up in natural. Now, there's a new type of 2-Rex in town. Because 2-Rex wasn't strong enough yet by itself, Terrans have now figured out that if you send a third SCV with 2-Rex, you can actually build 3 bunkers. And then you fully wall this, and it's very powerful. And Zerg players don't like it. They've been complaining about it. Me. I hate this. Yeah, sounds like a Zerg player to me. Let's see if DRG knows how to deal with this. And let's see if that's actually what TY is going to be doing. You'll need to send out an SCV right at this point. This would be the SCV that goes across the map to make the final bunker. It's also possible he just goes for a more standard 2-Rex, of course. This Overlord's actually just barely not going to scout it. Just barely not going to scout it. Look at that. Might see the SCV. Oh, saw that for a second. Sees both of them now. I think DRG spotted it. Instantly pulled away his Overlord. Hasn't seen the barracks, but knows what's going on. Okay, now sees these SCVs and Marines. Could go to the high ground here, but won't. This Overlord is trying to move to a high ground as well. He's gonna get there in time, I do believe. Drones being pulled downstairs. 6 links, as well as a queen popping out. Second queen on the way. No Overlord here coming out. So that's a set of larvae that he saved. Now comes the Overlord. After the 8 links. And the queens. I mean, this is the best possible scenario here for DRG. It's very far away. He scouted it in time to skip his initial Overlord. And now we're just gonna go kill this. With the surround here on these Marines. Lynx taking out the SCV. And 3 workers have gone down already. That's quite a few. 4th worker falls as well. Lynx continue chasing. As the Marines could probably turn around and fight this actually, can't they? Yeah. 16 workers to 20. So economically looking okay here for TY. And there's a CC on the way as well at home. He's built 2 more Marines. Oh, he knows where that Overlord went. He knows. Look at that. He sent this. I saw his barracks going there. What a little gangster, huh? But I guess DRG also knows where this is going. Ooh, 5 Marines versus how many links is this? 9 links. Who wins that? Who wins that battle? So far the Marines doing okay. It's now 3 Marines versus 3 links with quite a bit of damage on these Marines. Marines are gonna win. All 9 links will fall and the 3 Marines stay alive. And now this Overlord potentially in some serious trouble as well. Because I believe... Yeah, look at that. TY scouted with the SCV to see if there was any extra Marines coming in. Queen is now going to be moving off creep to try and save this. It's going to be a close battle, isn't it? I think that Overlord might just end up surviving. That's definitely what I was going to say when I started that sentence. Okay, it survives. We have plenty of money in the bank as well for TY. Starting a tech lab, a medevac. So he's going to go for a 4 Hellion drop as the follow-up. A very common follow-up, or at least back in the day a very common follow-up. It is 32 workers to 24. The game isn't over at all. Like people will look at this and think, oh, the game is over. But it's not over. They'd be mistaken. Hellion's now moving far out on the map, probably just to deny a little bit of scouting. Seeing if they can clear a ling here or there. Metabolic boost is about to finish up as well. That's going to be great as the first few links with metabolic boost will be popping out soon. Here comes the 4 Hellion drop. It's probably going to go in towards the main base. And I'm feeling... Let me see, how many queens do we have? 4 queens, 2 more on the way, 6 links coming out. Are they going to be in position? It's important. They need to be in the main base or in between these bases. If they're out of position and this doesn't get scouted, I'm feeling 7 or 8 workers. Okay, Link's quickly moving in towards the main. Yeah, they know the timings. The Zergs know the timings of the follow-ups after 2-Rex. Oh, this path was beautiful, by the way. He's now going to get spotted. Ooh. I still believe it's going to be like 6, 7 workers, to be honest. That's 3 in the first shot. Oh, it's going to get a big fat one. No? 6. Could get one more, maybe. 8? Keeps 2 of them alive. Is going to try to drop here into 4 queens. That's not something that I'd recommend. That's not something I would recommend at all. So these bad boys are going to be moving back. 8 drones killed. 8 drones killed. We have a follow-up with... is going to be a... I was going to say a Hellbat push. But he forgot to build Hellions. So that would be a terrible thing to do. Okay, now he's going to build some more Hellions. So it's going to be like a stim push with stim, 3 medevacs, and 4 Hellbats. If this hits pre-roach, this has potential to deal serious damage. If this hits post-roach, this has potential to do absolutely nothing. Like legit nothing. It will fall flat on its face. Is he just going to drop 4 more Hellions in the main base with this medevac? I mean, it's technically possible. No, he's going to pick up the Marines and then go across with these 3. Okay, so what do we have here? 4 roaches on the way. For now, it's a queen-only defense. We have 7 queens, 12 lings. But the lings don't count. They're pointless. They're useless. They're idiots. Okay, these are going to morph. Get a big stim forward. That's 1. It's going to be 2. Lynx moving in. Needs to micro this back a little bit. Decided not to. Uses the Hellbats to push it away. Wanted to go for the drones. Decides against this. Going to continue chasing these queens. 40 works to 63. Serious damage needs to be dealt here. So another stim comes down. Hellbats still dealing a lot of damage. 2 more Hellions show up. Can morph into Hellbats at this point. Still 3 Marines in this medevac as well, which could pop out. +1 has finished on these Marines. Let's not forget about that. As they're going to drop. And it feels like TY is actually dealing a serious amount of damage and might just straight up win the game here with this Marine count. There are 0 queens remaining. There's 8 roaches out, which is quite a bit. But these +1 Marines, even without combat shield, dishing out a lot of damage. Hellions still not morphing into Hellbats here. Now gonna get picked up and drop back down. Combat shields about to finish up here as well. Lots of workers going down. It's DRG in not just a world of trouble. He's in 2 worlds of trouble. That's a lot of worlds of trouble, let me tell you. 22 workers have fallen, as some random Marines over here are trading with these roaches as well. I don't think that's going to end up too well for these Marines, but at least they tried something. 2 Hellions still alive. We're going to redrop, perhaps morph into Hellbats and go again. Something you can always do. I don't think DRG is aware of this. Didn't see him leave into the dead space, I guess. Indeed, it's going to be Hellbats, healed up a little and dropped back in towards the main base. At the same time, Hellbats as well as Marines over at the 3rd base are going to get picked up. 2 more drones will fall and a full pull away here from this mineral line. This roach could just die if we A-move these Hellbats. That would be superior to what we're doing now. Yep, there we go. The money is very high though for TY. He hasn't been macroing well at all behind this. He's starting his +2 attack just now. His 3rd is about to finish up. He's just in a much better position than his opponent. But he should be in an even better position had he been spending his cash, a little bit more consistently. What a crazy attack, though. And it worked. Freaking 2-Rex, man. It always starts with the 2-Rex. It always starts with the 2-Rex. 6 Marines. Taking out these tumors. And we'll be picking off and pissing off. As a bunker goes down in the natural, as well as a turret. I'm really curious how good TY's bio play is. He always liked playing Mech. I mean, he's in such a good spot. It's hard to imagine him losing this game. He's even supply against someone pushing out pure roach of 57 drones. Like, this is as good as life is gonna get for a Terran player, let me tell you that. Lips now on the way. How many medevacs do we have? We have 6. So it's just going to be a tank, marine, Liberator push. It wouldn't surprise me if you just add some barracks to build individual Marines with. That feels like somewhat of a correct play. There's no 4th base here. As these Marines are going to try and trade. Now, oh, I thought it was going to boost in towards the main. That would have been a Clem maneuver here. Something Clem definitely would have done. But not TY. TY says, I ain't no Clem. Just going to make a big fat push into your face soon. At least that's what I'm feeling. Sensor tower, 2nd factory. Okay. We have no +3 attack on the way quite yet. I'd love to see some more gases being taken just for that. Also no SCV production, but that might just be because he's supply block. As TY is fumbling the macro just a little bit. Just a little bit. There's one Hellbat over here. Love to try and take out that drone. 8 more roaches coming in as well. Refinery goes down. Still no +3 attack. 131 supply to 146. To me, it feels like DRG is actually setting up for a 2-2 timing attack, by the way. Like, he's hardly adding in any drones. I'm not sure if that's because he's afraid or because he wants to kill. Like, those are the only 2 options. But it almost feels like he wants to kill. Yeah, there we go. It's going to start moving across the map right now. I think this is not a viable play at all. There's 3 tanks out with a 4th one that's now showing up. It's going to siege up. 4 tanks against this count of roaches. That's not a very good look here. On top of that, the upgrades are fine for TY. I mean, this is not a fight that you can take DRG. Absolutely no way, Jose. This is simply not possible. Yeah, GG gets called as TY wins game number 2. Honestly, could have just been 2-0 in this series already. But now, it's all tied up. Because really, if you think about it, that first game, that should have been a win for TY, I think. Yes, it was very back and forth. But I think if TY doesn't move out at the end of the game and he just kind of plays it out a bit better, like clears some creep ahead of his push, he properly maxes out, I don't actually really see a proper way for DRG to deal with all of this. Like, the mech army is so much better than just a Roach Hydra. Like, a DRG was stuck on bad units, on bad eco. Like, yeah. It felt like TY kind of wanted to get a quick win and then ended up getting a quick loss there. Last game, TY with some cute build orders actually managed to get a W. So that's impressive. I really do rate DRG quite highly. I'd say he's a top 4, top 5 Zerg in Korea, right? Probably. Yeah. Solar is better. Dark is better. Rogue is better. Shin is better. And then 5th, I think, is DRG. I think that's absolutely fair. Yeah. I was thinking who else is there Zerg-wise, really, in Korea. It's Su, I guess. Su's okay. It's not brilliant, it's not terrible. The drone's gonna start mining these patches. Factory on the way. Wait, did he skip the Reaper? Ooh. Kinda sexy. Marine Factory into Reactor, fast second gas. Into Depot. Okay, so we could be expecting like basically like a Banshee rush or something like that. Because it's gonna be really fast. Much quicker than you're ever gonna see Banshees otherwise. Marine is trying to look for Overlords. It's not quite finding them yet. So we're gonna see the swap here. Fast Hellions. I mean, that's always going to be the first step. And then I'm expecting a really quick tech lab on this, honestly. Maybe a Marine, then into a tech lab. But I am expecting relatively fast Marines. Or sorry, relatively fast Banshees. Anything but fast Banshees would honestly shock me. It really would. Okay. Could also be Battle Cruiser, but that'd be kind of weird. This is all going to be done in vision as well of DRG. It's just going to walk in. It's not going to see the timing on the starboard, but sees the timing on the cars. And that pretty much tells the tale here. I'd love to see just 2 more links being produced, maybe. Like 1 more set of link. Just for the next few cars. Not for these cars in particular. Ooh, we have some early Overlords coming out. That's interesting. Different from what we usually see. Usually we see DRG going into a supply block at 44 and then double overlording. It's all a little bit early. Maybe he played it different as he got blocked. It's possible. I didn't quite catch the entire early game. I was thinking of TY's first game still. Yeah, it's going to be a really quick Banshee cloak. This is actually very fast. Like, this is going to be maybe, what, 30, 35 seconds quicker than you usually see it. So this is something DRG needs to keep in mind. I'm expecting spores to go down in about 20 seconds from now, if he wants them to be there at a correct timing. More cars coming in as well. It's going to be walking into a supply block if he ain't careful, yeah. It's going to get a depot, 3rd CC, but it's on the high ground, which is really rare actually. Usually with this type of play, we see it in the wall, because you don't have enough depots yet to finish the wall. So that's interesting to note here immediately, that we don't have a CC in the wall. Makes it kind of difficult to move out with the Hellions at this point, because you're always going to be afraid of link run buys. He's also going to quit instantly. Is that 4 cars? 4 Hellions into double barracks. So it's going to be quick 2 Banshees. 4 Hellions. Spores coming down at about 225? 230-ish? 230-ish. 234. So double Banshees make their way across the map. Now have a Spore going up in the main. It's kind of staggering the timings here of the Spores. One in the natural and third already finished. 54 workers to 38. No Fort Hatch on the way yet either. Lair starts. As we're going to be moving into kind of an odd mid-game. It is going to hit like a truck as well, this follow-up timing. Hardly dealt any damage so far though. So these 2 Banshees, they need to do something. I'm feeling 6, 7, 8 workers as a great equalizer, because these cars did nothing. They were pointless. We have the perfect queen split here out of DRG, who loses 2 drones anyway. It's gonna lose 1 more over here on this side, 2 more, 3 more. Oh, this is good damage. This is really nice damage. Banshees are kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place, or just between queens, I guess. 5 drone kills though is actually solid. We have pure drone production behind this, which is less solid. If you're a TY fan, because it means that it's going to be loads of drones out, which is not nice. Absolutely not nice. Follow-up will be either a quick tank push or just a quick medevac drop. And it's gonna hit quite hard for sure. It's gonna be hard enough. Those Spy are coming in. It's rare to see Mutalisk Bane being played nowadays. DRG feeling comfortable with it though. I mean, his drone count is phenomenal. He's gonna have enough units out to deal with the incoming push. This overall was just still a good early game for DRG, because really, if you play against someone that's skipping the Reaper, that is playing very fast Hellion and very fast Banshee, they probably want more than 5 drones and 4 links. They probably want more than that. Like, this was not enough damage for the investment that TY made. Because, you know, he pulled everything forward a bit, mined a lot of gas very early on, has worse eco as a result. Doesn't have any extra barracks. Okay, now we get number 4, soon number 5 as well. And 2 more medevacs most likely will go down. Armory as well, about to finish up. I like this path that he's taken though. There's not a lot of creep on the far right side. My problem, really my problem, is the size of the army here. Or the lack of the size, is what we should be saying. As these Marines are gonna try to fight. Baneling's now rolling in towards tanks, which is not where they want to go. Baneling's not actually connecting, but both tanks will fall. This was all pre-combat shield, and the first 8 Mutas start instantly. That's really painful. That is actually extremely painful here for TY. He's not ready at all for Mutas defensively. And Mutas can be used in 2 ways. So A, Mutas can be used as a counterattack unit. And B, Mutas can be used to kind of clean up this entire push, clean up the medevacs as well at the same time, and then go for some type of counterattack. And it's going to be used for that. So both of these medevacs most likely are just going to end up completely falling. Banelings aren't quite in this fight yet. Okay, now they're moving in. 1 medevac goes down, 2nd medevac will fall. Fort base in some serious trouble though. So DRG is going to be paying a price for cleaning up those medevacs. At the same time, this also isn't so secure. Something DRG could do is just ignore the army on the right and straight up counterattack. I don't think that's what he's gonna be doing. He could have. He could have tried doing that. Overseer not here yet, means that the Banshees get some damage in, but the Banelings will connect with the Marines. Overseer still needs to move towards the right side as the Banshees continue focusing down. Individual Banelings will end up all dying. 130 supply to 102. Yes, it sucked to lose that base, but there's already a backup fort in position, and TY just lost a lot of army as well. Resources lost fairly close, which I guess is standard for Mutalisk Bane, but the eco for DRG has been too good for, I think, a little bit too long. We don't have a fort base yet here for TY. If you compare this to like a standard triple CC, fast triple CC build order, that fort CC would start like 7 minutes in. Here I don't think we're ever going to see it, as this is an 8 racks. And then losing those early tanks is even worse, because you kind of want to build on the tank count. 8 racks can be quite powerful against Mutalisk Bane, so that is something at least, but I don't think it's actually going to be very powerful this time around. I actually think it's going to be the opposite of powerful. It's going to be a struggle to even get to move to the other side of the map, to be honest. I don't really see that happening here anytime soon. Like, he's gonna try, but the moment that happens, we're just gonna see fly-ins with the Mutas, picking off reinforcements, trying to pick off key buildings like E-base, depots. It's gonna take out the first depot here, and these Marines are trying to come in, but that's simply not enough Marines. Loses one Muta for 2 Marines and a depot. Honestly, not even that bad of a trade for DRG. Has a massive supply block for TY, forced him to drop some, some extra supply on top of that one. Another one, so that's 100 energy just there wasted. DRG also getting supply block. It's about to finish 1-1. It's going to be 2-2 versus 1-1. Here comes the counterattack we were talking about earlier. This is actually a terrible fight because it's 2-2 versus 0-0 currently. That actually is really painful. Another tank pops on out. These Marines having a good time. The money is fairly high on the side of TY, who hadn't been macroing for a little while. Now it's going to queue some stuff up. It's also going to start a fort base. It really shows that he, didn't macro so well, because you're not really supposed to be doing that at this point. Tank might be caught out though. Tank in the back is going to help out. This one's going to get picked up as well. No turrets to help out. Just a sensor tower, but that one doesn't do any real damage. Turrets in the natural maybe can help, as the Banelings going to connect with some of these SCVs, as well as a bunch of the Marines. Now running in towards the natural, are going to take out a turret. Another tank is going to fall as well. 4 more Mutas are going to try and join up with the main group. One will fall before it ever arrives, but the rest actually manages to kind of get the safety of the flock of Mutas. 25 SCVs have fallen, a couple of links still active here in the natural, and that pretty much puts TY at a very, very all-in position. He already was all-in, now he's even more all-in. 2-2 hasn't even started here for DRG, who realizes that the priority is going to be with staying alive. He starts +2 melee, but I think as long as he doesn't die in the next 25 seconds, he's going to be just fine. He's going to be cleaning up this force as well, as the tanks are going down. GG gets called. DRG qualifies for GSL Season 2 over TY. Could have lost 0-2. DRG could have lost 0-2, but ends up winning 2-1. This is a very close series. TY kind of impressing me there. Not very smooth with some of the macro, with some of the moves. Strategically though, movement-wise, yes, I think he was there. But yeah, macro-wise and perhaps micro-wise, not entirely the level where he needs to be quite yet. But I have full trust that over the course of the season, if he does manage to qualify, he'll make it in.